Good morning. I am Don Palmer, Commissioner with the Election Assistance Commission, here today to talk about the recruitment of poll workers and the interesting ways election officials are recruiting citizens to work the polls as we build upon the momentum of Help America Vote Day. Today, my guest is Mac Warner, Secretary of State of West Virginia, who's here to talk about Operation Elective Service, a program to recruit military veterans to continue their service to their country and their community. Mac Warner was born in West Virginia, graduated from the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. He served in the Army for 22 years as a JAG Corps officer. In Afghanistan, Warner ran an office in charge of mentoring senior government officials in the rule of law. Thank you, Secretary Warner, for joining me to discuss this important initiative.
Good to be with you, Don. Thanks.
So tell us more about this program called Operation Elective Service.
What this is designed to do is play off of the World War II selective service. And you probably remember the Uncle Sam figure where he's pointing his finger saying, "I want you to serve in the military." And so what we're doing is playing off that pride that I think everybody who has served in the armed forces has. At one time, they raised their hand and swore to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States, and they did their duty. And now we're looking at them as they've retired or left the service, once again, stepping up to serve the country. And, in these divided times, America is very divided at the moment. We need somebody or some institution to kind of step into the gap. And there's no institution that's more highly respected in the United States than the U.S. military. And so I think there's a comfort level when people go into a polling location and they see a neighbor who they know has served in the military. And there they are, either working the poll books or helping out with people voting, getting their ballots into the tabulator and that sort of thing. I think there's a comfort level that goes with that. And so what we've done is copied that "I want you" poster or that moniker, and we've pushed that out, and we've had some very favorable results throughout the state. West Virginia has a high proportion of our people that have served in the military. So it's resonating with people, and even if you haven't personally served, pretty much everybody in the state has a family member or knows someone who has served. And so the two kind of match, serving in the military or serving at a polling location, a precinct, being an observer, I think just provides comfort to those people going to vote in person. And I've had a number of veterans who have come up to me and said, "I never really considered working at the polls, but we heard you on the radio or we saw your social media posts, and it is resonating with them." And people from both parties. This isn't a party thing. This is an America thing. Let's get back and make these elections, remove the conspiracy theories, the doubts that exist across the United States. And I think military people, former military members, can help do that by serving as poll workers at our precincts.
So how are you placing them in the counties? Are they contacting your office, or are they contacting the county in which they reside?
Yep. There's several different ways that people can do this. Of course, they can go to the county clerk, but most of the poll workers are the names or the people go through their executive committees, either Republican or Democratic executive committees, the counties. Those committees are responsible for getting those names, getting the list, and then they submit those to the county clerks, and then the county clerks call and see about their availability, their training, and that sort of thing. So through the executive committee is one way, calling directly to the county clerk is a second way, or third, the one that we're using is the state Secretary of State's website. And we have a link on there that says "Become a poll worker," and the elective service is prominently located there, a button, and you click on that. And then you can provide your information to us. We then see which county you live in, and we provide that back to the county clerk ourselves. So we make it just as easy as possible for people. You can do it through your party system with a phone call to the county clerk, or digitally on your cell phone or on your computer by coming to the Secretary of State's website.
Well, this is very interesting. I mean, I agree that I think most military veterans would be very focused on getting the mission accomplished and serving their community. On average, there's about 5 workers that are needed for each precinct in West Virginia, and you have over 1,600 precincts, which means you need 8,400 poll workers. So you may not be able to recruit 8,400 veterans, but what other means are you and the counties in West Virginia using to recruit poll workers?
Well, one is we're getting out to the high schools, and you may know that West Virginia has this great legacy of getting young people involved in politics. It was our own Senator Jennings Randolph who fought for 29 years to get 18-year-olds the right to vote, from what happened on Pearl Harbor, and then President Roosevelt reducing the draft age from 21 to 18. And Senator Randolph said, well, if you're old enough to fight, you should be old enough to vote. Old enough for bullets, old enough for ballots, was his saying. And so he finally got that passed in 1971, and 18-year-olds have had the right to vote ever since then, not just in West Virginia, but all across the United States with that passage of the 26th Amendment. So we like to get out and tell that story to high school students. And after that, West Virginia had the honor of having the youngest person ever elected to a state legislature. Sarah Blair from Hedgesville High School was elected to our state legislature. She ran at the age of 17, turned 18 before she was sworn in, and became the youngest person ever in the history of the United States from right here in West Virginia. And then a couple of years later, Caleb Hanna became the youngest African-American ever elected to a state legislature, and again, from right here in West Virginia. So those are great stories, a great legacy that we have here in West Virginia. And as we tell that story to high school students, they're kind of looking around the room saying, they were 17, 18, that's my age. And they did that. Well, I can do that. And so we encourage people to, 1, get registered to vote, 2, of course, to vote, but then 3, to become a poll worker, get involved. Because if we can get them involved at the age of 18, they're much more likely to stay engaged throughout their lifetime, and then even perhaps run for office themselves. So there are a number of ways to get them engaged. It's a compelling story. They respond to it. And so that's one of the ways we're encouraging poll workers at the younger ages to get involved. Another way that we're encouraging is we got out and talked to civic organizations about encouraging their members to participate. And we had one in the 2020 election, and then again, perhaps in the 2022 election, the Board of Realtors allowed their realtors to get what amounts to continuing education credit. They have to stay current, but they gave them credit for working in the polls, and that's because they were interacting with the community, with their potential or their constituents, their customers or whatnot. When people are in the polls, they talk, they share stories or whatever, and the Board of Realtors thought that that was worthy of giving their members credit for working polls. So you get that double duty. You're getting that civic duty of working the polls. You're getting credit with your the Board of Realtors, and of course we talk about them volunteering at the polls, but we do pay the poll workers as well. So and that's another, back to the pay, that's another incentive for the high school students. We talk about, hey, you've got a prom coming up here at the end of the year, a couple $100 to work the polls, you don't have to rely on mom and dad, you can earn your own money. So we have a number of ways we're encouraging people to become poll workers.
Well, you do get paid, and frankly, I think we're singing from the same sheet of music. Regarding the college students, we do have the college poll worker appropriation by Congress that are trying to encourage sort of the training and use of college students to be poll workers, because once they're engaged in the process of being a poll worker, we think that they'll do that and help keep the poll precinct rating, as well as the civic engagement side of it. That's one reason I think we do help them, is so we could all sort of try to highlight the need for poll workers. So how do you, and we're going to end sort of on note, is once somebody has decided that they want to participate in this movement of helping America vote and being a poll worker in West Virginia, how are they going to get trained and ready for election day? Could you talk a little bit about that, how they're going to be trained and used at the polls?
Sure. I've been out around probably 20 counties in just the last 2 weeks, talking to the county clerks. We had about 1/3 of our clerks throughout the state were new just this year. And so this is going to be their first election. And that's why I'm getting out and talking with them. And they've all got their training materials. This is the first time in our state's history where all 55 counties are going to use the express vote system, a very secure system. So we're checking on the training of the first the clerks and their staff on this equipment, as well as now they then will be teaching the poll workers how to use the equipment. They've already got their training schedule setting up where they get a number of training sessions, both morning, noon, and evening, so that the poll workers, if they have jobs and can't get there until the evening, they're doing that. We have training videos that our office has been working with one of the county clerk staff that's pretty senior, that's been through this a number of times. They helped us prepare some videos as part of the training. But the real key to this, one is to watch that video, but then we actually get them up and move them around to various stations so that they see if there's an electronic poll book, how that works, how the machines themselves work, what you do if you have a spoiled ballot, the tabulator, the auditing process. And we actually have the poll workers go through each one of those, because typically what you've had in the past is somebody that has worked the polls for a number of years and all they do is check people in, and then somebody else that helps take the ballots over. But what we've found, especially during COVID, is we had people calling in sick, you had to get or just simply didn't want to get exposed to a possible virus situation. And so we have to cross train, and that's the purpose of having the people move from station to station, so that if somebody does call in sick, they are already trained at doing all aspects of the election process. So it's a very, I don't want to say intense, but a vigorous training program that the clerks are going through, where our staff is helping it. I have field reps that go out to both the county clerk's office and attend the training to assist with this. So we're very satisfied with where we are. Of all the 20 counties that I've visited in the last couple of weeks, every one of them says they're prepared. They've shown me the equipment, their training schedules, and I'm feeling very comfortable with West Virginia and our preparation for this 2024 election.
Well, thank you, Secretary Winter. I really appreciate you talking about Operation Elective Service and the ways that you and the counties are training poll workers getting ready for Election Day. It's a big deal, and that's why we're spending a lot of time on it. And because in the end, the poll workers are the backbone of our elections, and we just got to we have to increase those numbers and train them up ready to go on Election Day. Thank you, Secretary Warner, for joining us.
Thank you,
I appreciate your time.
Good being with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.